Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Nick, and I'm joined here today with Tom and Oliver. And today we're presenting to you all our podcast, The Cookie Jar. The goal of The Cookie Jar is to explore our own individual backgrounds and upbringings, which shapes the way we view the world by having a little jar, as you can see on the screen, full of questions that we pull out every single episode and explore whatever questions that may come our way. So we range from everything from, our backgrounds to our teenage years to even college. And we have this entire goal in mind of sharing interesting stories and funny tidbits to hopefully shed some light about how similar or different we are because of our upbringing and where we come from. And for us, it's really interesting simply because, right, we all come to CMU, we're all CMU students, but there's so much more to who we are than just being part of the Carnegie Mellon community. We all have our own backgrounds, we all come from different hometowns. And with that being said, it's fascinating for us to really explore those different differences and really kind of point out and acknowledge like where we can find some sort of like community or connection in those differences as well. With that being said, Tom will talk about now our first episode.
Yeah, so the first episode, the question that we posed was, what is your hometown like? And so kind of how I tied it into cultural themes while editing is I produced the first episode. And so what I decided to do was for our intro and outro music to include a little Mac Miller, Pittsburgh guy, rest in peace. He passed away 2 years ago. But his music means a lot to me. And so I decided to use an instrumental of two of his songs at the start and end of our podcast episode. So it started out with us just pulling a question out of the cookie jar, which was, what is your hometown like? That was the one that we pulled, and we kind of just ran with that the whole episode. Asked follow-on questions to kind of further dive deep into our hometown and culture. So we talked about everything from, what was our high school years like, grade school, where are we from, college, and just like interesting things that we've noticed kind of about our upbringing and hometown, kind of as we've gone about our 21, 22 years of living so far. And I'll pass it off to Oliver to talk about our plans for the next episode.
Yeah, for sure. So, some questions that we were looking forward to talking about in the second episode would be like, does your family have any traditions, or what else makes your family's like culture unique? Another question would possibly be talking about the relationship we have with our family members and how that relationship has evolved as we've gotten older, and some improvements that we want to add on to our first, or some improvements that we want to have adding on to the first episode would be more background audio and transitions between topics. And from past reviews, we have found that to be something that we should work on, and we'll add those as well. So finally, for our final episode, we want to essentially further dive into and elaborate on the idea of culture and identity, and we want to leave the audience with that sort of a feeling while listening to our podcast. So yeah, this is what we plan on doing for episode 2 of the Cookie Jar.